Alex Mullen to make it 3-1 in the grand final. Puts in the penalty and wins the grand final for Campbelltown City.
No one attacks it, comes back off the Fernandez. It's the goal! It's top! Oh! And then Talisman's got another one.
They City back quick.
Jake King done! What a shot! My goodness me! Oh, can't teach that sort of stuff. Sends it in, keeps it low, and it's gone in! It's gone in! LA Uni has scored in time added. Tries to get under control, and the shot from Tolland! Salisbury into a 2-0 up!
Neil Butler with another chance, it's 2-1 to Playford! Persistence has paid off for Playford!
Long touch the keeper, puts it into the bottom corner. Beach gives him a shoulder after that as well. He's lost his clean sheet, and he's lost his head with a red card! David, this is massive!
The girls sing and the geezers too, yeah, we're doing this thing.
Hello and welcome to episode 7 of One Game at a Time. A big show we have for you tonight or today, whenever you are watching. I'll start off as always as introducing myself. I'm Seb O'Neill, joined by my co-host, starting off with the one and only Mark Talbot. Mark, what is your favourite game? Whether it's a board game or even a video game, maybe. What's your favourite?
Good evening, Seb. How are you? Good question. I'll have to go with probably Arkham.
Okay,
it's a board.
Good.
It's a card game, and it's ridiculously mind draining. It's good fun. We normally play for about 7 hours.
I like it. Already better answers than last week. David, welcome. What's your favourite game?
As a youngster, it was Risk. I always liked the board game Risk. World domination, all that was always my kind of thing. And then as I got a bit older, I remember I went to university. There was a couple of card games we used to play. They involved clothing and the removal thereof, and they were always great fun as well. But I haven't played it for a while. Might see if I can get a little team together one night and do that. Maybe if you guys want to pop up on Friday night, we can have a little game of, I don't know, cards and clothes.
Cards and clothes, I don't mind it. And finally, Alessio Carocci. Alessio, what's your favourite game?
I quite like Trivial Pursuit. I remember playing it quite a few times at my grandparents' house in the school holidays, so I think that'll be mine.
Are you good at it though, or do you just like it?
It depends which one. By the time the ones they had were quite out of date, so
like Trivial Pursuit Kids
really
is
know.
more your type, or
Well, just any more recent one than probably ones from the 60s and 70s, but
Fair enough. As always, we'll start off with our picks. Do you know what? I'll go first. We had the Cup draw today. Interesting fixtures. We'll have a look at them now, going through them all. Metro against Modbury Jets, Adelaide Olympic versus FK Beograd, Fulham versus Sturt Lions, Adelaide Hills Hawks versus Cove FC, West Torrens Burkalla versus Croydon, Adelaide Croatia Raiders against Cumberland, Gun United against Campbelltown, and Seaford versus Adelaide Comets. Just starting off with, I guess, the Men's Cup. Any of those games really excite you, the three of you?
I'm quite curious to see how the Adelaide Hills Hawks go against Cove. That's the one that kind of stood out for me. I went along to watch them on Friday. Talk about that a little bit later, but they're on a bit of a roll. I think they've had 2 wins in a row, and so that game sort of leapt out the page at me.
Mark, Alessio?
I'll go for
I was going to say probably the two for me would be obviously Garn versus Campbelltown, a new team like Garn who always have such a big attendance at home, and they're going to finally have an Australia Cup game there at Ferryden Park. And also Fulham versus the former tenants versus the current tenants of West Beach Parks. And yeah, as David said, the Hills Hawks and Cove one, I mean, both those teams actually in great form, probably better than a lot of us probably would have predicted them during the season. They're getting some good wins. I think Adelaide Hills Hawks got 3 wins in 4 actually, and I think Cove, they probably have a couple of wins in a row now as well.
Mark?
There's a couple. Obviously, you've got the all NPL clash at the top there with Metro and Modbury. So that's always an exciting one. The Adelaide Olympic and FK Beograd, they're actually quite close in neighbours, so that'd be a good game as well. But the one that I actually really am looking forward to is the Seaford Comets game. I watched Seaford on the weekend, and they were good for their win. So, and they wanted an NPL club to test themselves. So for me, that one jumps out, and I can probably duck across and watch that one.
Absolutely, very much looking forward to that. I think that one's happening mid-April, I think, from what I saw. Going on to the WMPL and WSL Cup, Adelaide Jaguars against Modbury Jets, Campbelltown versus Cove, West Torrens Burkalla versus Metro United, Football SA versus Adelaide Comets, Flinders versus West Adelaide, Sturt Lions against Adelaide City, Adelaide Uni against Salisbury Inter, and Western Strikers versus Modbury Vista. Only 2 of those games are all WSL affairs. The 2 mixed games, I suppose, Adelaide City, Sturt, and Campbelltown versus Cove. I guess probably those 2 in particular are the ones to look out for, David.
Yeah, they're the 2 that leapt out the page for me. You took the words out of my mouth. Campbelltown and Cove is an interesting one. Cove, a side that I think have got a lot of potential in the future. I've mentioned them a few times with Tracy Jenkins at the helm there for them, and I think that's a club that's on the rise. And a Campbelltown City side that's struggling to find a little bit of form this year. So that's an interesting one. And of course, starting Adelaide City was the game that Johnny and I commentated on in the middle of last winter that finished 6-6. And we were huddled together like a couple of castaways on a desert island up in the scaffold in the pouring rain and the wind. And it was a game going into that Sturt hadn't scored for, I think, 2 months or thereabouts. I think Florence Russell, who's now with Adelaide City, had been the last player to score for Sturt in a league game in the lead up to that. And it was one of the best games I've seen across all the competitions we've got. Finishing 6-6 was just a classic end to end and a real underdog story. And they almost had it at the end. So that's a game that really appeals to me.
Yeah, voted our game of the year last year from memory as well. Alessio, Mark, any of those games in particular for you?
Yeah, the Football SA and NTC and the Comets game for me stands out because obviously both sort of pushing that top end of the table. So that's a good clash. I think would be quite exciting to watch. For me, that's the one I'm keen to see.
I think the ones for me the same. Have been mentioned. Sturt Lions, Adelaide City will be a great one. It's a bit unfortunate to see a lot of WSL clubs play against each other. You probably want to have a bit more of a cup run, and you want some of these WMPL clubs to probably have a further run in the cup. But they're going to have a difficult one round one, and that's what goes to show the winners have had a tough run all the way throughout.
Yeah, absolutely. Very, very much looking forward to even more cup action. Of course, we'll go through the recent weekend's cup action in a little bit. Still got the rest of the show to go, though. We'll go to Mark up next. What do you have for us?
Well, actually, following on from the cup, I was able to get across and watch the Seaford game on the weekend in the cup, and that's my pick of the week. It was against Pontian Eagles, so it was an upset, or should I say, cup set for them to get the result. I got there a few minutes into the game, and Pontians were already 2-0 up. And to be honest, I was very surprised that I saw that, because what I saw, Seaford were completely outplaying them and did so for most of the game. And then they scored 2 late goals to send extra time, and then obviously got the result on penalties. But see, as I said, Seaford won. I had a catch up with Calderbank and with the hero in Charlie Yule, and they both said they wanted an NPL club, and they've got it. So that's why I'm very keen to see how they go. Because like I said, they pushed the ball around well. They really made it look like they were the State League 1 side and Pontians were the State League 2 side in that game. So that's my pick of the week. And like I said, it was a great effort from the Seaford goalkeeper in the end. I think he saved 3 out of the 4 penalties. One of them, I think he was very, very lucky that it didn't get retaken. I thought he was well off his line before the ball was struck. But hey, he got away with it. I think it's this one here, actually. He got away with it, and that's what happens. Yeah, there we go. So, but hey, these things happen, and Seaford move on and go through the next round. Like I said, great for the club, great for the team. So yeah, that's my pick of the week.
Yep, whatever works and what you can get away with is, I think, always best.
That's exactly right.
David, to you.
Well, I was at a cup game as well, so very quickly, I was at the Adelaide Hills Hawks game. They'd won 1-0 at home in the first round against Para Hills West. Brett Saville scored the goal for them there. And they were coming off the back of that 2-0 win against Mount Barker in the league. So I went along, and the Hawks really came out the blocks at 100 miles an hour. They scored in the 5th minute through Gabriel Boring. And then West Adelaide started to settle and looked a bit more comfortable, and equalised in the 20th minute through Ryan Wood. But all credit to the Hawks. You know, they really came out like a side that looked very determined. West Adelaide a little bit maybe undermanned. They were missing Jackson O'Donnell, the captain and goalkeeper. James Odenwalder wasn't there. Dion Kirk wasn't there. And Rovu Boyers was there, the Solomon Islander international, but he didn't come on until the 67th minute. Anyway, a penalty with 10 minutes to go. And I'm going to have a go at this name. Apologies if I get it wrong. Athanasios Morakis was the goal scorer from the penalty spot in the 81st minute. And I believe Athanasios is a former player of West Adelaide. I was very impressed with the goalkeeper, Tahishi Kurimasawa, and I'm sorry if I got that wrong too, but he had a blinder. At one stage, he took a bit of a knock. It looked like they might be looking for their third goalkeeper because Jordan Cutts was on the bench. Both the regular goalkeeper, oh God, I played a jam with his dad.
Connor Hudson.
Connor Hudson, yeah. Connor Hudson's out with an ankle injury just now. And he wasn't playing. Nathan Elliott was being rested as well. But it looked for a moment like Jordan Cutts would come on, and he's a young 17-year-old goalkeeper. Had come up from Noarlunga. He'd signed for Noarlunga, had played for Mount Barker in the past. I actually found that he scored a goal. You'd be interested to know. He's actually scored a goalkeeper who scored a goal. We don't get many of them, but he scored a goal in 2023 at the under-18s competition, a penalty. It was the 21st goal in a 23 win for Noarlunga. I won't tell you who it was against, Alessio. But yeah, that was my pick of the week, the cup game. I was also going to briefly touch on two local lads winning a cup in Scotland. Did I do that now, Seb?
Yep, absolutely.
Yep. SPFL Trust Trophy, the Scottish Challenge Cup. Tete Yengi and Ryan McGowan were both playing in this game. Tete Yengi, of course, Comets player, and McGowan obviously had been at Parahouse Knights for a while. They're both playing in the second tier in Scotland, and there's Tete Yengi celebrating a goal. He had a blinder. He was also had the assist for the first goal. Unfortunately, Queen's Park, as you know, are my team, and there was much excitement and anticipation about getting into our first final in about 110 years, and it all went to poo. Queen's Park had sacked their manager, Callum Davison, only a few weeks before for reasons I do not understand, and I'm still a bit angry about. But all credit to Livingston and two local guys from Adelaide featuring heavily in that match. This is the Challenge Cup is the tournament for the teams that are not in the Premiership. I'm sure there's an English equivalent, but a little bit of Gaelic commentary there I hear as well. But that's my picks of the week.
Yeah, I like how quickly that almost became a rant about the state of Queen's Park management. I quite enjoyed that.
I was controlling myself.
Could have gone on for
there.
longer, I think.
Oh, man. So I'm angry about it, but anyway.
Alessio, we'll go on to you before we let David speak anymore.
Yeah, so I was also at a cup game this weekend. My first trip to Ellis Park. Pretty close to me as well, so it's a good venue for me to get to. And yeah, I saw the game between Parry East and Adelaide Comets. And yeah, I'm mimicking what David said in the past as well. That deck is just unbelievable type of pitch, that one. And I don't know how they keep it so good, but it was nice and short, nice and flat. And yeah, it was interesting to see the setup. They had the scoreboard on the club rooms as well, which is interesting. I've not seen that before. But apparently maybe it's a bit hard to see from where the commentators commentate from. Some nice kits on show as well from both teams. A couple of long sleeve ones for Parry Hills East. It's their warm-up kit as well, which is quite nice as well. And yeah, it was a very entertaining game. I mean, it was a couple of red cards for both teams and a couple big opportunities for both as well. I knew some players in the Parry Hills East team as well, and a couple in the Comets team as well, and they both said that they didn't know what each other was going to bring. Also, seeing a keeper rock some of the shorter shorts I've seen in a long time.
I don't think you can get short. I think if you get any shorter, it's underwear.
But yeah, he was actually quite good on the night, made a few big saves. But just when they went to 10 men Parry Hills East, they probably lost a bit of the momentum when it was 10v10, and Comets paid off. They scored a third goal on the break after their keeper went up for a corner. But yeah, otherwise it was a great venue. Glad for the hospitality as well, good food as well. And yeah, there's a lot of people there, a lot of players around the league as well were there as well. I saw. So you had some Adelaide City players, some Campbelltown ones, etc. So they're all having a look at the ALS Park.
Yes, a very, very nice place. So just quickly, before we move on that scoreboard, David, you said about the being able to see the scoreboard from the scaffold. It's just, there's one pole that seems to cover one of the digits, so you can't make out exactly what the amount of time left is in the match. Because I think, David, you made a mistake in commentary saying, I think the game was, you said the game was about over, but there was still 10 minutes left because you thought it said 90 instead of 80 or something like that.
Yeah, so the first digit's missing. So you don't know if it's the 12th minute, the 22nd minute, the 32nd minute, or the 42nd minute.
And no matter where you are on the scaffold, that pole is just in the right position to cover that first digit.
So I think I said it's the 42nd minute, it's 3 minutes to half time, but in actual fact, it was the 32nd minute, and there was a full, 12 minutes to go to the 13 minutes till the break.
I like that they do add on like the added time.
Yeah, that was good.
Halves, so you can actually see how far into added extra time you're going. But yeah,
no, that was quite helpful when we went there. But still, yes, a very, very lovely place to go to and commentate, and I'm looking forward to being able to head out back there again. Oh, what is? I don't even know what that sound is anymore, David. What is that?
I reckon that's my front door.
I reckon it is your door. I reckon you should go answer it. You don't get to do it this week again, Mark.
Oh, that's all right. I'm happy just to be a fill-in.
That's okay. Okay. David, welcome back. Who was it?
I think you need it to be Daniel Ryan.
And it is. How convenient that it is.
Wow.
That was perfect, David. I don't think you could have done any better with that, I don't think.
No, I don't think so. It's,
it's the second one. That's unbelievable.
He hasn't come alone.
Oh, go get it again. They should really start coming in two at a time, you'd think, by now, Mark. Might make David's job a lot easier.
That's how Noah had it, mate.
It's his friend, Ben Moore.
A friend of mine.
Hello, Ben. Hello, Dan. Lovely to have you both. Thank you for engaging with our silliness. Just to start off with, as I normally do with our guests, question to the both of you. Just sort of give us a background on you, what your footballing journey is, your junior clubs, your former clubs in general. Ben, we'll start with you.
Just going to try and volunteer Dan, mate, but happy to go first. I grew up in the north, so started with the Elizabethton districts. Went over then to Federation football at a club called APAC back in the day. They merged then with Salisbury, so played a bit of football at Salisbury, and then moved into the NSL spot at the time with Adelaide City when I was about 16, and then ended up back at Elizabeth City, and then had a few clubs over that period of time. Most of my career though spent at Adelaide City, won a few championships, had a really good time, and enjoyed my time there, and ended back up in the north at the moment with Playford Patriots coaching.
Very, very nice. Dan?
Yeah, so kind of similar, maybe not as much success as Benny just yet, but that might still be to come. But yeah, for me, played juniors at Elizabeth Downs for 6-7 years before moving on to Salisbury for a year or two. Went to Playford in under 12s, 13s, played my juniors there till I was about 15. Made my first team debut at Playford at 15, so a while ago now. But played at Playford for a couple of years till I was about 17, and then trying to chase my dreams of playing the A-League. I moved on to White City for a bit, so I was there for about 3-4 years, and then returned to Playford in 2020, and been there since. And last year was obviously a good year for us, so yeah.
Well, I suppose that leads on to my next question, just sort of asking, I guess, on your progress in the MPO and how you're finding it. But I guess you're probably finding it pretty easy, considering how well you guys are doing from coming up from State League 1. I don't know who wants. We'll start with you, Dan, this time since we started with Ben last. But I guess, yes, how are you finding it in the MPL? I guess the quality difference, I'm trying to think of the word. almost the professionalism, has that gone up in a standard, the players you're playing against as well?
Yeah, well, it's definitely not easy, like at all. Like, I mean, we've had an okay start and we're 2-2, so yeah, we've had a couple of good results, but at the end of the day, it's only 4 games and we haven't achieved anything yet. So yeah, it's been a good start, but I feel like, and Ben feels like, and I just feel like I've been belonging at this level for a long time anyway. So I just feels like I'm ready to go right now, and I'm ready to go for a couple of years, and we're ready to go. So yeah, it's a step up, but for us, we're ready and I'm ready. So yeah, hence our results.
Yeah, absolutely. Ben, I guess for you as a coach, anything really have to change from coming up from State League 1, or sort of just, I guess, more of the same from your side?
Yeah, no, it's been an journey. Also, I've been at the club for a significant period of time, and as Dan said, we've tried to prepare for this league, since I've been there. To get there, it's nice. It's a nice feeling, to go to the better grounds and play against the better players, and have the better officials potentially around you. It's nice. It makes it feel, like football, especially, takes me back to when I played a lot of football as well. So yeah, it's been a smooth transition, but we have done a lot of work in preparation in terms of making sure that we have the right people around us, the coaching staff, the GPS tracking, the video analysis. There's a fair bit of work that's gone in over a significant period of time in order to assist us into the transformation.
Yeah. Next one, I guess, how is Playford for the both of you as a club, as a community? The ground itself, I hadn't been there in quite a few years, I don't think, since my brother used to play there. I was there for the first time this year, early on in that. It was against the Para Hills game. I was there. It's a lovely place to be. It was loud, plenty of people there. I suppose, yeah. Just how is the club for you guys, the community and the ground itself, being able to play there week in, week out? We'll start with you this time, Ben.
Yeah, as I said, so I grew up in the north. I grew up in Elizabeth. After we emigrated to Australia, my dad played at Elizabeth City. So when we first arrived, he played for Elizabeth City. My family has got a strong connection. My in-laws. So in terms of that connection with the north and with Playford / Elizabeth City, it's been strong. I know a lot of people that have been there for 30, 40 years, going to the games, true supporters. It's got a British heritage. And how much those people enjoy their football, and they'll tell you when you're good, and they'll tell you when you're bad. But the atmosphere and the culture that we've been able to build, it's been significant. And when I first took over, there wasn't many people coming to the games, but as you said, that Para Hills game, now that connection back into that northern community, celebrating the past players, the past heritage, it's fantastic. And when you go out and achieve and get the result that we did against Para Hills for that occasion, you can see how happy it makes the community. And that grandstand's been there for quite some time now, but you get 500-600 people underneath there, it feels like you're playing in front of a few thousand. So really deeply connected to the north and really enjoy my time there.
Yep, can be very, very loud, that grandstand, from experience. Dan, I suppose for you?
Yeah, same thing, I guess, for me, like being around the club for 15 or so years, like the culture for me is like, we've always kind of been the underdogs, I guess. Like, no one likes coming up north, like no one wants to come play at Playford, and I guess we use that to our strength a little bit, but we thrive off that underdog kind of mentality a little bit. No matter what we do, like we win championships, we get promoted, like we're always going to be seen as that smaller type club. But I think we're starting to change that stigma at the moment, just because of our successes. So we're starting to get our name on the map, and people are starting to really notice that Playford a club to be recognised with, and it hasn't been that way for a long time. So it's pretty proud to be a part of a club like that.
Yeah, and I must say, from a selfish commentary perspective, I'm very thankful you guys got promoted, because it's a nice club for me to come commentate to, 5 minutes away. I haven't been there yet to commentate, but it's nice and close for me compared to, no offence, South Adelaide. So very, very happy that you guys were promoted. David, Mark, Alessio, questions from you guys?
I can start.
Go on, David.
I was just going to say, like, I commentated on your game against Campbelltown in round. That was probably round 2. I think your opening game you lost
Round
to Croydon.
3.
And was it round 3? Thanks for correcting me. And that game, there seemed to be an awful lot of set pieces in that game. I've never seen so many set pieces, I think, in a long time. Is that a pattern of your play? Is that something you're set up to do more of than normal, or was that just a one-off game? I haven't seen any of your games since, unfortunately, but there just seemed to be an awful lot of set pieces. And Danny, I've got to say, that free kick you scored that day was one of the best free kicks I have seen. Not because it was spectacular, but because
It caught you off guard.
ingenuity. Yeah, I mean, I think in the commentary I said he's going to float this to the back post where everyone's lining up, and in the end he did this, and it was just extraordinary. Great free. That's one of the best free kicks I've seen in a long time. Not sure about the goal celebration, to be honest, but great free kick. But yeah, set pieces just seem to be the order of the day for you guys. I just wondered what if that was like a tactic that you've employed differently from last year, or continuing to do, or did I just see a game where you just happened to do a lot of them?
No, I guess I can. I guess I can take that one. Not really. Like, we have some weapons, I guess, in terms of our set pieces, but I must say I have watched that goal a few times, and I've heard your commentary a few times as well. So I said a few people commented on it and said clearly he doesn't know you well enough, because I was always shooting that free kick, 99 out of 100 times. So. And Benny would probably know that as well, because we've been together long enough now. But we have some good set piece takers, and I guess when it's my time to execute a free kick or a corner or whatever it is, we make the most of it. But I was always shooting that free kick, and the goal celebration is a staple as well. So
Have that, David.
Yeah, okay, that's me back in my box, isn't it? Well, I don't think I was the only one who wasn't expecting it, because I don't think Campbelltown were expecting it. To be fair, I don't think I was the only one. But anyway, it was a great free kick.
I guess that comes with a new league as well, doesn't it? We haven't really played at Campbelltown before, so Anyway.
Yeah, very, very good at free kick. Mark Alessio, either of you?
Yeah, mine's aimed probably more at Benny here. You just spoke about, or Dan just spoke about underdogs and stuff like that. But when you look at your side across the team, it's littered with NPL players. As in, they've all played, or nearly all of them have all played at NPL level. How do you manage to attract them to Playford as part of this project before you made the NPL? Like, you attracted Christos Panendas, you obviously had Dan, you managed to pull in the likes of Ostby and Harvey. So how do you bring those players? How do you get those players before you're even in the NPL? What attracts them? Besides just the coaching, obviously.
Well, it's my smile, mate, most of the time, but it's it's been a journey. And I got to play for a long period of time, and I was always one of those guys that looked after the younger boys coming through. So in terms of when they were starting to develop and starting to come into the fray, people like Luke Ostby, the goalkeeper, Sean Harvey, I played at Campbelltown with. D-Ray I knew from when he was young. So I guess I've lent on those sort of relationships and those conversations that I used to have back in the day. And, when you build trust and rapport, people are willing to come and take a punt with you. One of the first questions I do ask, a player, if I don't know them well, or if I do know them well, is, have they got a connection in the north? Do they live north? Because I'm trying to build a northern club with northern people. So, this whole I guess stereotypical sort of process, what happens is that you grow up in the north, and if you're any good, you sort of go away to some of the bigger eastern clubs, and then potentially you come back and finish your career in a northern club. And I'm sick of those good players escaping the system. So what I've been trying to do is create a northern club with northern players, and have such an atmosphere that people don't want to go past Playford anymore, that they want to stay in Playford and play in the Premier League and have those opportunities that I got to have. So our recruitment process is, in line with that. Christos, he's a northern guy as well. He came through, a link that's already at the club, and he loves it. He's sort of given him a new lease of life, and once you get there and you see, I guess the atmosphere and the culture that we sort of created, it's easier then to sort of lean on the next person to come across.
Absolutely. Alessio, David, Mark, anything else?
I had a bit of more of a comedical question. Are you excited for Happy Gilmore 2, Dan?
Oh. Of course, mate. Of course. Me and Benny actually went out for a hit on the weekend, and it's fair to say that I'm quite a few shots better than Benny, but he won't be happy with that one. But I did hole out from 40 meters on the weekend, so if you want to hear more about my golf game, I'm happy to chat about that rather than soccer.
I'll tell you what, I think we actually should have a golf tournament, actually, for players from every team, and see which team comes out on top. Because I'll tell you what, there's a lot of golfers amongst these players.
You guys should host it. You guys should host it, and we'll play.
I'll see what I can do. Maybe I'll start that process. The one game at a time golf comp, and at every team it'll be twos or something like that, and it's all go, and every team's got to put in players. I reckon there's a shout. I'll look for that for the end of the year, maybe.
One hole at a time.
I
don't know. I don't know. Maybe let's brainstorm the names first before we go anywhere. Anything else from you three? Perfect. All right. We have some, before we go to what David has planned for us, we actually have some viewer submitted questions. These are always fun. Majority are for Dan, but there are some for both. I guess we'll go through them. First question, as long as it comes up. It went away. That's great. First question came from William James, 99 on Instagram. Do you only score bangers? I'm going to assume that's for Dan. So do you only score bangers?
I don't know how to answer that question. Well, I think the Federation's been a bit nice to me over the last 3 weeks, to be honest. I've been nominated for Goal of the Week for the last 3 weeks, so I don't know. I must have done something nice to them because they keep nominating me. So, yeah, I guess I'll say that.
Fair enough.
Did your free kick win Goal of the Week, or is that?
Nah, I don't think it was an okay free kick, but it went on. It almost went in along the ground. Like what's the keeps doing, you know?
Yeah. Okay. I thought it was great.
On to next question from Ethan Schulz. Who's your favourite player outside the team? I guess this question could go for both of you if you really want to.
Benny, do you want to answer that one, or do you want me to? I'll go.
Yeah, I'll have...
So just for a bit of context, Ethan is, and if you didn't know, I'm a school teacher, so Ethan's one of my students at school, so he's probably wanting me to say him because we have a fair few boys in our 18s and resis that I actually teach. So I'll just say a whole heap of those boys and get around the Xavier Open Boys school team coming up. We got knockout next term, so hopefully we can win a few games with that.
Very, very good. Ben, for you?
I'll respectfully say Alex Mullen. He's someone I do admire. I played with him at Paradiddles back in the day, and he's gone on leaps and bounds from those days. And it's just someone that's stands out in terms of his leadership, his qualities, and I guess his execution. And so Alex Mullen is my favourite at the moment.
Very, very good choice. Next one is from William James again. Full pint or half pint kind of guy. I don't know who this is for, and I don't get the question. I hope one of yous do.
It's one of the guys I work with, and it's always a full pint. That's all I'm going to say.
Perfect. Next one is from Josh Caputo. How's it feel to be the father of all the Northern Suburbs teams for D-Rye Kiss?
Once again, another ex-student of mine from another school. But we've got a bit of a running joke because his brother-in-law, I believe, is Hamish McCabe, who plays for Modbury. So Yeah, I just said let him know that we're coming for him this year.
Very, very good. Next one. I don't actually remember how many we have. I think we have 8. From Harry SBN. How do I score bangers like Dan? # #1 supporter. Is this another student?
Nah, this isn't another student. This is one of our juniors from Playford who comes out. And I must say, we've got a very solid under-15s and 16 squad at Playford, and majority of them come out to our games. So we appreciate the support. They create the atmosphere. I don't know if you saw last year at Blue Eagles, but, when we scored that, winning goal and we're all celebrating and, all those boys are in there. Like, I just remember that being me. So, yeah, I got a lot of time for those guys and, it creates great atmosphere at our games.
Absolutely. Always. Next question from Ryan Albie. How did you go at golf last Sunday morning? Who won? Is this for both of you?
Ben can answer that one.
Yeah. So Albie's one of our assistant coaches at the club. So the 3 of us did rock up at Sandy Creek. D-Ray is a member up there. His last words before we left Campbelltown after the game was, "Don't be late." D-Ray, what time did you rock up, mate? Did you rock up early, or did you were the only one that rocked up late?
It's the first time I've ever arrived late for a tea time. So, yeah, I arrived at 7:13. I reckon we're meant to tee off at 7:08. So, and I didn't get my morning coffee, so I was pretty pissed off about that as well.
And then Albie went on to beat both of us here on a points system, and I think he won some prize money as well, D-Ray, didn't he? So he's pretty happy and chuffed with himself.
Yeah, first time ever for him.
One hole at a time, looking better by the minute.
Yeah.
I think this is the last question from Josh Colborne. When are we going to see a decent celebration from Dan?
I'm pretty happy with the golf swing, but apparently it's got some bad reviews from David, it seems. So I'm open to suggestions. So if anyone's got anything that they want to see, then I'm always open.
To make you feel better, D-Ray, Simon Catanzaro sent me a message and said that he loves them. I think there was some of him going around from the state game against Adelaide United in his bowling action. Yep. So he said that he's loving the celebrations and to keep them coming, mate. And he was one of the king of the celebrations back in the day. So you're doing okay.
I think I just got to have a couple up my sleeve though, just in case. Change it up every now and then.
Try and vary it.
For the game against Mowbray and Hamish McCabe, you got to outdo him.
Well, that is all the
got a good rivalry with them already. Thanks for stirring it up.
David, on to you.
Yeah.
What do you have for us?
I've got 5 statements about Ben Moore. And I need you guys, the panel, that's everyone except Ben Moore, so it includes you, Dan, to tell me if they are true or false. Shouldn't take too long, so fairly painless. I'll start with statement 1. So, Ben Moore says, I once kept 15 clean sheets in a row during the Adelaide City glory years. Is that true or false, team?
I'd say true.
Dan, you're in on this. We can have an open discussion.
Mark, you seem confident.
Yeah, because I played around when they were in their absolute prime and destroyed every team that came up against them.
15's a lot.
It is.
How many would have they played in a season back then, roughly? In league season?
Would have been 24, I reckon. Around 22, 24 games.
15's a lot for 24.
You can quiz Ben if you
got to
want.
you got to remember who he would have had in the back lines. He would have had himself, Pezos, Jordan Darcy. Who else would he have had in the back lines? He probably had John O'Negus at some stage.
Ask him.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like that.
Who else in front of you?
Who else was? Matty Halliday was too young. He was later on.
And Adam Osmond, Nego, George Sonis, Chris Rees played for a while.
That's right.
Mark, you seem confident, so I'm happy to back you for
it. Does he ever mention much of his career at training, Dan? Is he telling Luke Osby and a couple of the keepers that You take a while to beat my record, or
Does he ever talk about his career? Are you kidding? I could mention the charity game a couple of years ago. What happened there? But I'll keep that. I'll keep that under wraps. We'll go with true though. We'll go with true.
Yeah, Mark seems confident, so we'll go with true, David.
Okay, well, Ben, would you like to give him the answer to that? Did you keep 15 clean sheets in a row during the Adelaide City glory years?
I don't think so, mate. Like that is a lot of clean sheets for that. And we had a very good team, but yeah, it was that is untrue. That one's false.
Excellent, well done, Ben. So you're 1-0 up. Statement
Was
2.
was there anything close, David? Or was that something completely made up?
No, I'm not the author of this one. Ben gave me this one. Yeah.
So is there an actual record that you have? Or have you made this up?
Made up. Made up entirely.
Good. All right, David, continue.
The question is this next one made up? Statement 2. Ben Moore says, I was scouted by Ian Rush while he was in Australia, and they flew me to the United Kingdom to play for Chester City. Ian Rush was the coach at Chester City for a wee while. What do you think of that one, panel?
Ben, what do you think of Chester?
It's a lovely town, city.
Okay. Didn't really help.
what league were they in?
If I can jump in here, I've heard a lot of stories from Ben, and that is not one of them. So I thought I would have heard that. I would have heard that by now. But that's just my input. Does anyone else want to jump in there?
You spend the most time with him out of anyone here.
How old were you at the time, Benny, when that came about?
Maybe mid-20s.
I don't believe it.
I don't either.
He could get us here, but I reckon it's false.
Unless he's a really good liar, we're going to say false, David, I think.
Okay, statement 2 was, I was scouted by Ian Rush while he was in Australia. They flew me to the UK to play for Chester City. Ben, is that true?
That is true, David. That is very true. So,
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes, he was out here.
There's
He
a
did a
little
soccer school. And they ironically then came to Adelaide City Metro Stars game, and I did okay that day. And yeah, everything else fell into place after that. Unfortunately, the bad part of that story is he was sacked not long after I arrived at the UK.
So good start,
So it was
David.
a short career, yeah. Well, you guys haven't got a point yet. Ben's got 2 points. Statement 3, you ready for statement 3?
Sure.
Ben says, due to my superstitious nature, I wear the same socks, unwashed, for every game I've ever coached.
Are you ever able to smell him in the change rooms, Dan?
I feel like I'm definitely superstitious, and I think he's superstitious, but I don't think he wears a sack. Like, he has to wash them. He's a pretty.
Does he
clean
smell?
guy. No,
That's what I'm
he doesn't.
asking.
He's got a well manicured beard. There's
Yeah.
no way he would go unwashing socks. I just think, and he's very high
If
up
you
in his
said
job. He's very well
If you said
presented.
hat, I would have thought maybe. Because I do remember seeing him with a hat quite a few times.
I'd say
All right.
false.
Yep. General consensus is false, David.
Okay, statement 3, Ben. Due to your superstitious nature, do you wear the same socks unwashed for every game you've ever coached?
That is false.
Oh,
We're on the board.
Finally.
We're back.
Underwear, but not socks.
Okay, statement 4 of 5. Right, you ready for the next one? Ben Moore says, during my career, I used to put nail polish on my fingers and toes before games. I used a variety of colours ranging from blue, pink, red and black. Is that true or is that false?
I have a sneaking suspicion that's true.
It could be a way to get to make sure that none of them look like bruises. They're all black anyway. But
I think I know the answer to this one.
Go for it, Dan. What do you got for us?
Ben's got 2 daughters, and I believe that they might have played a part in that before the games, I think. So I think it's true.
I'm more than happy to go with that. We'll go with true, David, I think.
Okay, Ben, during your career, did you paint your nails?
Yes, that is true. Very true. Unfortunately, it's before I had children. It was nothing to do with the kids. I just enjoyed doing it.
That's what I was thinking. I actually had a sneaking suspicion that you did. For some reason, that sticks out when we played against you. I was like, long time ago
Right.
now.
2-2, David.
2-2. This is it. And so we've got an odd number of questions because I thought, well, if we get to the end, we can't possibly have a draw. So we've got this fifth statement here that we've got. And so Ben says that one of his favourite films of all time is the 1997 classic Oscar-winning Titanic. Ben says, I confess, though, that the first few times I watched it, I cried. The moment when Jack slips from Rose's grasp and disappears into the ice-cold North Atlantic is still something I find hard to talk about. So, did Ben cry during Titanic?
Wait, what is the question? Did he cry, or that's his favorite movie? What's the question?
I was gonna say, what's the question?
The question is, did he cry while watching Titanic?
Oh, did he cry?
No, sorry. He says, I cried. He says, I cried watching Titanic.
Okay,
True
so,
or
okay.
false?
I thought the question was, is it his favorite movie? So Titanic is his favorite movie, but
Yeah,
did he cry or not?
Yeah, he's saying, I cried while watching Titanic.
Okay.
I should have just said that, shouldn't I?
Ben, how many times have you seen Titanic, do you think?
Countless. I can't even remember, mate.
Dan, is he an emotional man? Does he get upset? Like, as in, when I say emotional, not angry with players or anything, but is he? Is he an
Did
emotional
he cry
man?
on the promotion day against the week?
Yeah, he did shed a tear when we got promoted and won last year. That's about the only time I reckon I've ever seen him.
But you've not seen Titanic with him, though, Dan, have you?
No. I don't have much help here. This is
Yeah,
toss of a
I'm gonna
coin.
go
I've never
false.
actually seen Titanic either, so I.
No, neither have I.
Neither have I.
Okay, so this is great.
I'm gonna go.
Did you cry, David,
All
when
I-
you watched it?
All I know is that they could have fit both of them on the door.
Yes.
That's all I know. So, but I'm
Well,
gonna
Ben-
I'm gonna go false.
Ben, do you believe that they both could have fit on the door?
No, they couldn't. It would have spoiled the movie.
that, mate? The movie being made spoiled the movie.
One of his favourites. Careful.
What do we think?
I'm going false.
I think maybe false too. Alessio,
Alright.
Dan.
We'll go. I'll go consensus false.
Yeah. Go for it.
Okay, we're going false for our final answer, David.
Okay, Ben, did you cry when you watched Titanic?
Dan, I want to know that you don't believe that it's true deep down first before I answer. You think I cry? As if I'm going to cry with Titanic. Come on, mate. Oh. Come on, buddy.
Well, that's it. That's it. The panel have won 3-2 after being 2-0 down at half time.
Comeback.
Comeback Kings to win 3-2. Yeah.
What a
Alright,
time. Thank you for
I've
that.
got a question. I've got a question for Benny before we end up closing this up. A lot of people, well, especially me, a lot of people want to know beard care. You have one of the best beards in the league. How do you keep it lush? How do you keep it so brown? Mine goes grey. What's the secrets?
Well, regular trims to my barber down in Port Adelaide, called the Mad Barber, Bruce. So big shout out to him down there. And then potentially there might be a bit of product every now and again added, mate.
And that's a bit of product every now and again, and it's that lush. Do you wash it every day? Do you bit of beard oil? What's the consensus there?
More goes back on top. I've had to compensate in other places, and it's just things I've been able to do, mate. I'm pretty happy that I've got it somewhere.
Oh, I know that feeling.
When you see other people with,
I'll have to get on the Campbelltown. I've heard some of the Campbelltown boys have, paid someone a visit.
Yep.
When you see other people with beards, is there a mutual nod? Like if you see Anthony Solana, for example, from Metro Stars, is there a mutual sort of nod of the head? Is that like truck drivers or people with neck braces?
I used to have a beard off with the Blue Eagles coach last year. I used to say to him when we shook hands before the game, I said, "You've got the second best beard in the league, mate. Congratulations." Yeah.
Very, very
I've
good.
got one other quick question,
yes,
Seb, that
absolutely,
you've reminded me of. So when I commentated in that Campbelltown City Playford game, the goalkeeper was down as Robson De Souza, and that's not an issue for you guys. But does anyone know who Robin De Souza is?
Well,
No.
he's the only guy that's kept a clean sheet for us this season, mate. So if you can find him and bring him back, we'd be much appreciative. It's Big Lukey copped a bit of stick for that name. And, I guess the commentary added to it as well. So thank you, David, for giving us a bit of stick. Because he's a bit of an angry man most of the time, the big fella. So it's nice to get something on top of him.
Well, it did cover the first leg of your final last year when you were playing Blue Eagles at Blue Eagles, and I know it was us by then, and I remember looking through the sheet thinking that's not a name I recognise, and I was looking at the guy and I was thinking I'm sure that's Osby, but I've got to go with what's in dribble. So my apologies to you and to the club and to Luke Osby as well. Sorry,
De Souza, you mean?
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Ben, Dan, thank you for joining us. Pleasure to have you both, and as I said, engage in our questions and silliness. Good luck for this Friday against Croatia. I'll be commentating, so very much looking forward to being there. I think it's the first game I'll be commentating you guys this season. So excited. Northern representative on the Northern game, so happy to have it. But yeah, thank you, Ben. Thank you, Dan, for joining us, and yeah, good luck for Friday.
Thank you, guys.
And the rest
keep
of
up
the
the good
season.
work. Appreciate it.
And the rest of the season.
Thanks, appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Damn, Ryan and Ben Moore there. Very, very happy to have them both on. Very, very fun. And good to know about beards, I've shaved mine, it doesn't grow too large, but, it can get a bit, curly. It's not too great to have sometimes. Mark's yours all right. David, never really seen you with a beard before. Can you grow one?
I have grown one in the past. One of the early years with Johnny, and when we were doing Hills Radio and looking at the Hawks, I had a big beard then. Well, big, it was like Mark's. So I've got something going on now, so maybe I'll grow that.
Like Alessio's got something. What's the goal with that? What's the goal with it?
I just like keeping it at this level, like almost a shadow kind of level, but it still like defines the jaw pretty well. So
the little mustache, with the little mustache too. I'm a big fan of the mustache, I must say.
I remember one time against Seaford, one of the players before the game said, "Oh, you got the Mario going." So
doesn't help your Italian too, I must say.
Yeah.
Going on to, we'll look at the results from the past weekend. WMPL WSL Cup, we said the fixtures coming up. Only the 2 games were played. Every other team getting a bye. Elizabeth Grove losing 5-2 to Modbury Jets. No cup run for them. And Mark, funny enough, South Adelaide and Adelaide Jaguars played each other last week. Ended a 3-2 win for Jaguars. Played each other in the cup again. And it was also a 3-2 win for Jaguars. I suppose... Well, only the really 2 games there, I suppose, the talking points there. Elizabeth Grove still not winning, and South Adelaide and Jaguars having voodoo, Mark.
Yeah, I know Benny won't be happy about that result because Souths were doing quite well in the league. They started off really well, but they've sort of just dropped off a little bit of late. And yeah, 2 losses to the Jags in 2 weeks. He'll be disappointed with, but hopefully they can turn that around. And obviously, with the other result, Elizabeth Grove, we still can't work out what's going on there. They won the preseason cup and now struggling at the bottom of the table without a win and out of the cup. So they got a bit of work to do, and hopefully they can turn it around and close that gap on I think the bottom 3 are all on 0 points, but hopefully they can close that gap. But we'll see what happens. But yeah, it's just surprising. I think we're all a little bit shocked with the Elizabeth Grove result.
Yeah, really, really intriguing. On to the Men's Australia Cup qualifying round. Quite a few games to go through. We spoke through some of them, but I'll go through all the results. Start off with West Torrens Burkalla ended a 1-1 draw in after extra time. Finished 5-4 the way of Adelaide, the way of Burkalla in penalties. Adelaide Comets with a 3-1 win over Para Hills East. Sturt with a 4-1 win over Tea Tree Gully, although going down initially. Hills Hawks, as we spoke about, 2-1 win against West Adelaide. Modbury Jets getting one over their rivals in the derby, 2-1 against Para Hills. FK Beergrad beating Adelaide Blue Eagles 4-0. Gawler Eagles losing to Metro Stars 2-1, a game which I was at, as it was somewhat close by. Adelaide Croatia Raiders a 6-0 win over Elizabeth Grove. Croydon a 2-1 over Salisbury Inter. Campbelltown reversing the league fixture and winning 2-0 over Playford. Adelaide Uni losing 2-1 at home to Adelaide Olympic. Seaford Rangers against Pontine Eagles finishing 2-2, but 3-1 on penalties, as we saw earlier. Croydon Cougars losing 5-0 to Ghan United, I should say. Cove winning 2-0 over Adelaide Atletico. Adelaide Titans losing 5-1 to Fulham United. And Vipers FC losing 3-0 to Cumberland United. Where shall we start, gentlemen? Where do we want to start?
I can just reiterate my experience on Friday night at the Hawks Nest.
Sure.
Caught up with a few old pals there, and obviously they were going into that match at second bottom of the table, but coming off the back of a 2-0 win in the derby. And as I mentioned at the start there, West Adelaide had, I don't know if they were resting players or if they had players with genuine injuries, but Jackson O'Donnell, the regular custodian and captain, wasn't there. James Odenvalder wasn't there. Dion Kurt wasn't there, and Rovu Boyers came off the bench in the 67th minute. But by that time, the Hawks had just so much confidence about themselves. I mean, West Adelaide were probably, there was no stats that I saw, but West Adelaide were probably the better of the two sides in terms of possession and maybe chances. But that goal just towards the end from Athanasios Marakis was just something that made that a very special night for them up there at Woodside. Coach Nigel Gill is now looking for, well, he said he was looking for high-level opposition to really test themselves. They've got Cove, and it'll be interesting to see how they go from there. But the problem with the Cup for us is very little of it is televised. It's not covered by us. So we go to games. So I could happily talk about the Hawks game because I was there, but I can't really say much about the others because I didn't really see too much other than what you guys had spoken about.
Yeah, of course. Mark, Alessio, any games that you want to touch on and just speak about in general?
I was just going to say some of the other ones that obviously I didn't get to, but I did see the results of. Sturt continuing their fine form, and you'll see later in our predictions, a couple of you had that perfect. But yeah, that was great to see them get back to winning ways. I mean, they went down early, as you said, Tea Tree Gully, who are actually a quite stacked team. If you see some of the players in their lineup, there were ex-State League 1 NPL players even. So that they're no slouches. Otherwise, around the grounds, Beergrad, that was a convincing win against Adelaide Blue Eagles, seeing as Beergrad was struggling to pick up points over the last couple of weeks. To see them demolish a team like Blue Eagles that easily, who are usually near around the top of State League 1, is good to see. Baselli getting a couple of goals, which I was happy to see as well. Otherwise, around the grounds, Cove, that was a good win for them. They're continuing their fine form after a few league wins now as well. They're getting into the Cup. And as well, they played a rotated side against, who were they against? Cove versus... who was it? Atletico, yeah. So it's a team that had some good results in State League 2 North at the moment. But Cove, they rested some players. I think Matt Canny, a good friend of the podcast, was unused sub on the bench. They had some of their reserve league players playing in the game. Still no Ryan Veach. Even some of the normal players like your Brian Elowoot, Ollie Grant. I'm not sure if he started or he was in the squad at all. But yeah, it was great to see them get that win. Raiders, of course, a large win against another North team, Seb, Elizabeth Grove. Mm-hmm. A couple of us had a close to getting a perfect score there, but we all definitely had Raiders to win. What else have we got that we haven't covered? I might leave the rest for Mark if he knows the ones.
There you go, Mark.
Mate, I don't remember any of the other results. Modbury Para Hills always going to be a derby, so it's always going to be tough one to pick. I mean, Para Hills have had the wood on Modbury, so Modbury getting a result is a great thing for them because they really need to kick off their season. So they're going to be looking at this as a bit of a springboard for them. Metro Stars, as you said, they got the win. I was chatting with one of their players the other day, Anthony Salagna. He was saying that they missed 2 penalties and just could not put the ball in the back of the net. And when I say missed 2 penalties, that was 2 saves, not 2 misses.
He was actually really good that night, the keeper, Caleb Robinson, I believe. Kept them in the game for the most part. Made some saves from point blank, was brilliant. Probably almost unlucky to concede the 2 goals he did.
Yeah, and that even Anthony said the same thing. So yeah, and what else? Like I said, I was at the Seaford game. That was, and Seaford were the better side. And I spoke with both coaches. Actually, spoke to the assistant coach at Pontians, and he said Seaford were by far the better side and deserve the result as well. So, but yeah, as David said, it's hard for us to get across as many games because we do get out to them as we all did, but obviously without the broadcast we can't actually catch up on all of them, which is a bit of a shame. But as we get closer, we start to get to, I think, the semis they'll be covered, I think it is. So
yeah,
we'll find out soon enough. And to be honest, the draw looks good for next round.
Yeah, the one I did miss was the Campbelltown reversal of Playford, and which it was literally in what is it called when you have one at the start and one at the end, and then in the middle is a bit of nothingness. But yeah, it was. I think it was about 4th minute goal. I think from Alex Mullen, headed from a corner. Which glad to say it was James Carocci on the corner. He finally got a goal contribution after his 11 senior games of waiting. And then the final goal I think was in about the 90th minute or something. It was Josh Murray. I think there was footage of it I did see, but I'm not sure if it was on Campbelltown socials or not. But yeah, it was good to see him get off the mark. That's about it.
Absolutely. 8 games in the next round at least, so it might be a bit easier to get around the place, hopefully. But yeah, very, very exciting cup round and interesting results all rounds. Next up, upcoming fixtures. Predictions,
should we get the scores from last round before we do predictions?
I believe we should, Mark.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
I believe we should.
We haven't seen them, so let's see what they've got.
Yeah, also make to note that I did add your predictions from a couple of weeks ago when you predicted the Eastern versus Mount Barker, which was rescheduled to the weekend, which obviously concluded in a 6-0 Eastern win. None of you did get that, but you were very close. David had a 4-0 Eastern, Mark a 5-1, Seb a 4-0, and myself a 4-1. So you all got the correct winner, but not the correct scoreline. Otherwise, we'll go through. David had 11 correct winners and 1 correct scoreline.
Which was?
And that correct scoreline was 4-1 Sturt Lions men's.
Okay. I have no record of that.
Mark had 10 correct winners and 2 correct scorelines.
Wow.
His 2 correct scorelines were the 2-1 Modbury Jets win and the 2-1 Adelaide Olympic win.
I like that these numbers are going up. Do me next.
Seb had 7 correct winners.
Oh, okay. Cool.
1 correct scoreline.
Okay, cool.
And that was also 4-1 Sturt Lions men.
All right, cool.
Myself, I had 11 correct winners. And I have 2 points here. So that means that there was a correct distance and a correct winner, but not a correct scoreline.
A correct distance?
What's correct distance?
That's how far it was when he shot.
That's how we have the extra point of how long the game goes.
Oh, okay. I get what you mean.
So it was 1 point for the correct winner, 3 points if you get the correct scoreline, and then an extra point for the correct distance the game goes. And you'll never guess.
You need to say duration.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. I think Mount Barker is 50 kilometers away.
Yeah.
I was pretty annoyed because I could have got the full 5-pointer here, but I had 1-1 and Seaford to win on penalties. So that game was 2-2 after full time of normal, and Seaford did win on penalties. So our cumulative results now. So David was on 75 points last week. He's gone up to 89.
Yeah.
On equal points, 92 is Seb and I. Seb was on 82 last week, and now he's on 92. I was on 79 and now on 92. And Mark, after being on 95 last week, is on 111 now.
Notice how after Mark was complaining last year about the rules, he's all of a sudden doing really, really well this year.
Yeah, what's going on?
I did really
was
well
doing
right
really
up
well
until the end last year.
Yeah, it was just the league predictions that took some points away from some people.
Yeah, right. All right, on to predictions.
This week,
State
what do we
League
got?
2,
Seb?
State League 2, round 4, starting with the North. Gawler Eagles versus Elizabeth Grove.
Ooh,
I'm going to go
derby.
for a Gawler 3-1. Is it a derby?
It is.
Is it? It's a northern. I guess it's a. It's
But
yeah.
I thought
two closest
Elizabeth Grove
teams.
and Playford would be.
Yeah, they are, but
Derby.
Gawler's closest team will be Grove. So it's certainly not Perry.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
Woodbury
okay. It
Inter,
is.
no?
No, Elizabeth would be close. Yeah, Elizabeth's closer than yeah. So yeah, it'd be the northernmost derby I think you can possibly get if you
Without
disregard Northern Demons.
Perry. Yeah.
Adelaide Northern.
Yeah.
In a competition for the northern clubs in Adelaide, isn't every single one of these games a derby?
But this would be the most northern you can possibly get, I think.
Right. Okay.
They're probably the.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
they would
back-
be the,
I'm going to back Gawler.
as did I. Mark.
Uh,
What-
2-1.
With cheese.
Sorry, guys. I think I've got a delay tonight. I just my
No.
timing's all wrong. No,
No, you just didn't say a score. That's all.
2-1.
Seb
I
had
go-
3-1
yeah.
Gawler.
yeah, I'm going to go Gawler 2-1 as well.
I've gone a 2-2 draw.
Garn United versus Port Adelaide. I'm going to go for a 3-1 Garn win after their big win in the cup.
Do you know the leader should always go first? I think with the picks, right? Like if
I can
if
go
Mark's
first.
leading,
that's fine.
if Mark's leading, he should go first.
Okay.
And
I'm
I want
just
to
gonna pull up
change
the
my
table. All right.
and I want to change my Gawler score prediction because Mark and I've got the same one, and I want something different to Mark. I'm going to go for 3-1.
That's what I
So
said.
you're going
David.
same as Seb.
Oh, right. I'll go for 3-2.
Yep.
If I'm going to catch you, I'm bottom, right? If I'm going to catch you, I've got to not have the same picks as you.
True.
And Gawler haven't actually won a game yet.
Mm.
They haven't.
I thought they were
Lost,
quite good on
drawn,
the weekend,
lost.
though.
Yeah.
Garn
Yeah. but that's
versus Port
against
Adelaide.
a higher team. 2-2 draw.
I've gone 3-2 Port Adelaide.
I'll go 3-2 Gan.
Salisbury Inter versus Northern Demons, a Northern derby.
They're all
Mark,
northern
you can
derbies.
start.
If you want me to start, I'm going into 2-1.
Inter 3-1.
I'll go Inter 3-2.
I've gone into 3-0.
And finally in the north, Modbury Vista versus Adelaide Atletico. Vista 3-2.
Vista 4-1.
Vista 3-1.
I've gone Vista 3-1 as well.
To the south, Adelaide Uni versus Adelaide Hills Hawks. I'm going to go for a 2-0 win for Uni.
I'm going 2-1 for Uni.
This is at Uni Grounds. Is it a night game?
Yeah.
Not sure.
I'm actually going to go for the Hawks in this one. I'm going to back them to win this one 2-1.
I thought
I've gone
about
a 2-2 draw. I think it's a tough place to go at night there.
Adelaide Titans versus Eastern United. I'm going to go for an Eastern 1-3 win.
Why are you doing that?
Because they're away.
I'll go Eastern 3-2.
I'll go Eastern 4-2.
I'll go Eastern 5-1.
Seaford versus Mount Barker. I'm going to go for a 4-0 Seaford.
This is going to be a tough one now.
These are the bottom two teams, State League 2 South, and I don't think Seaford has won in the league either.
2 draws.
No, they
and a
haven't.
loss.
They haven't.
But they obviously won in the cup, so that counts.
Yeah, Mount Barker didn't because they weren't there.
They won 2 cup games now, no? Seaford?
Yes, yeah, they've
Yes.
won 2 cup games. Yep.
And Mount Barker.
The
have
cup
won one.
merchants, we don't know. Mount Barker also
Alex-
undefeated against them last year.
Is Alex back in the first team this week?
Not sure. He only came
You
back
don't
to
know?
training last week, so we'll see.
I found it easy to predict this one. I must.
I'm
say.
going
Yeah, yeah,
Barker
I'm-
2-1.
Wow.
I'm going to go for Seaford 2-1.
I'll go 2-2 draw.
You laughed. Norlunga versus Western Strikers. I'm going to go for a 2-1 Western Strikers win.
2-2 draw.
I'll go for a 2-1 win for Norlunga.
Where is this at, Seb?
At Norlunga. Down south.
It's going to be
It's a
wet
southern
and
derby.
cold this weekend as well.
Yeah, Seaford and Mount Barker in the Southern Derby.
I'll go 3-2 no longer.
On to round 5 of the WSL. Cove versus Western Strikers, a southwestern derby. I'm going to go for a Cove 3-1 win.
I'm going to go 1-1 draw.
This is really hard to pick. They've both got the same record. They both scored 5, conceded 11, both got 3 losses and 1 win. Couldn't get more dead level.
Even if
could
you tried.
0-0.
That's why I went 1-0.
0-0.
I'll go for a 3-3 draw.
Go for the Mark special.
I'll go on 2-1 Cove.
A Northern Derby in Elizabeth Grove versus Modbury Jets. I'm going to go for a 3-1 Modbury Jets win.
I'm going 4-0 Jets.
I'll go for a Modbury Jets win in this one, 4-0.
I'll go 5-1 Jets.
Sturt versus South Adelaide in a southeastern derby. I'm going to go for a Sturt 3-1 win.
2-1 Sturt. Sorry,
I'll
Ben.
go for 4-1 start.
I'll go 4-2 Sturt.
Modbury Vista versus Adelaide Jaguars in a northwestern derby. I'm going to go for a 4-1 win.
For who?
Vista.
I'll go Vista 3-0.
I'll go Vista 4-1. Did you say 4-1, Seb?
Yes.
I'll go 5-1.
I'll go 3-0 Vista.
On to round 5 of State League 1. Vipers versus South Adelaide in a north-southern derby. I'm going to go for a Vipers 3-0 win.
Is this Vipers at home?
Yes.
I'm going to go Vipers 2-1.
I'm going to go Vipers 3-2.
I'm going Vipers 3-1.
Cumberland versus Pontian in a northeastern derby. I'm going to go for 3-2 Cumberland.
Cumberland 3-0.
Cumberland 4-0.
I've gone 3-0 Cumberland as well.
Adelaide Blue Eagles versus Cove in a game of football. I'm going to go for a 3-1 Cove win.
I got a 2-2 draw.
I'll go 3-3 draw.
Who's the team they're playing against here? Cove and
Blue Eagles.
Blue Eagles
at
Blue Eagles.
at Marden.
I'm going to go 3-1 Blue Eagles.
Sturt versus Cobras in an animal derby. I think a lion will always beat a snake. Therefore, they will win 5-0.
Oh, wow.
Mate, a cobra ain't beating a lion, bro.
I'm going Sturt 3-0.
I'm going Sturt 4-1.
I've also gone Sturt 4-1.
Adelaide Olympic versus Fulham United. I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw.
Olympic 1-0.
Olympic 2-0.
Who is it? Olympic and
Fulham.
Fulham.
at Fulham?
Olympic.
Olympic.
2-1 Fulham.
And finally, the game, which actually probably excites me most this weekend, to be completely honest. West Adelaide versus Salisbury United. I'm going to go for a 3-3 draw.
I've got a 2-2 draw.
I'll actually go for an upset here. I'll go for Salisbury United to win this one 3-2.
I've gone 3-2 West Adelaide.
On to the WMPL for round 4. Adelaide City versus Football SA NTC in a 5 minutes between grounds derby. I'm going to go for NTC to win 3-1.
Sorry, I missed it. Who is NTC and who, sorry?
City.
NTC 2-0.
Yeah, I'm going for NTC in this one as well. 3-1.
I've gone 2-2 draw.
West Adelaide versus Adelaide Comets, a game which will probably, well, you'd imagine mean a lot, especially towards the end of the season in terms of the table. I'm going to say West Adelaide 4-2.
West Adelaide 3-2.
Oh, that's what I was going to pick. West Adelaide.
Sorry.
4. West Adelaide 4-3.
You wanted him to go first as well, David.
Yeah, no, you want me to go before you?
Yeah.
I'm going 3-3 draw.
Salisbury Inter versus Flinders United. Very, very interesting game. I think Inter a side which I'm not sure about yet, and Flinders a side where I think they've definitely got something. They're just yet to have the result yet. So I want to go for a 2-2 draw.
I'll go 3-3 draw then.
I think you're right, Seb. I think this is two teams that just look like they have got a lot of potential, but it just hasn't quite clicked yet, has it? I'll go for a draw as well. I'll go for 2-2.
I've gone 2-0 Inter.
Campbelltown versus Adelaide Uni, two sides which I think we all predicted around about to be near the bottom of the table towards the beginning of the season, but almost, I guess, two separate fortunes really at the moment. I'm going to go for a Uni 3-1 win. Campbelltown to score their first goal.
Uni 2-0 for me.
I'm going to go for Uni to win this one as well. Campbelltown to get the first goal too, so go for 4-1 for Adelaide Uni.
I've gone 5-0 Uni.
And wow. And finally, Metro versus West Torrens Burkalla. Again, two teams which were probably around about the same level last year. Metro, again, sort of looking, almost probably a bit early to say, but towards the top of the table already. And Burkalla perhaps not doing as well as they did last year. I'm going to say a Metro 4-0 win.
I go Metro 2-0.
I'm going to go for Metro to win this one 3-1.
I've gone 3-1 Metro as well.
And finally, the men's MPL for round 5, Friday night. Adelaide Croatia Raiders versus Playford, my game at the Croatian Sports Centre. I'm going to go... I want a good game, so I'm going to go 4-3 Playford.
I go 2-2.
I'll go for. This could go anyway, couldn't it? I'll go for Playford to win this one 3-2.
Good game, eh?
Yeah, so far.
I've gone
0-0.
4-3 Raiders.
Campbelltown versus Adelaide Comets. 2-2 draw. This
Where's
also on a
this
Friday
at,
night?
Seb? I don't know.
At
You're the one
Yeah,
with
it
the
is
picture.
Friday.
Right now. I'm going to go Campbelltown 2-1.
I'm going to go for Campbelltown as well in this one. I think maybe they'll just hit a little bit of form now after their win, albeit 2 weeks ago in the league. And Comets against Para Hills Knights, was that the last game they played, Seb?
Played the
Little bit of
cup
a
against
step.
Parramatta East as well.
Paros East.
Apart-
But
yeah,
yeah,
apart
in
from
the
the
league,
cup,
it was
yeah.
Para Hills.
I'm going to
Yeah.
go for Campbelltown in this one. I'll go for Campbelltown to win this one 3-2.
I'll go. Interesting. Campbelltown are the away team spectacular. So I'm actually going to go 3-2 Comets.
Adelaide United versus Metro Stars. Your game, David, as I'm led
Yeah,
to believe. Just across the
lucky to
road
have-
from me.
Lucky to have this one. It's a top of the table clash almost, isn't it? But I'll
Very
let Mark go.
exciting. You want me to go first? This is a very enticing game. This one, both on 9 points, so it's top table clash. I'm gonna go 2-2 draw because I can't split them. I can't split them.
It'll be interesting to see who remains because United play, well, the first team play, well, the night after. So whether or
Yeah.
not you see Harry Crawford perhaps go back up.
I think.
Or
I don't think. I think I think he'll play in the MPL. I think Duzel will play in the MPL. So
David.
Well, these guys can play in both games, couldn't they? The way that Harry Crawford did the other week.
True.
You know?
yeah,
True.
I think this is very closely matched as well. It's a really difficult one to pick. I'm going to go for Adelaide United just to pivot. But it'll be a classic, of course. 4-3.
I'm going to go
Adelaide United.
3-2 United.
So this is Metro United, you saying?
No. Metro Stars.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to go 4-2 Metro.
Okay. Adelaide City versus Modbury Jets at Adelaide City Park. I'm going to go for... Modbury did win in the cup. I'm going to go for a 4-1 City.
I'm gonna go 2-1 Adelaide City.
I'm going to go 3-2 Adelaide City.
I've gone 3-1 City.
West Torrens Burkalla versus FK Beergrad down in, the west, I guess. Burkalla... No, 2-2 draw.
5 draws in a row. So.
I'm gonna go Beergrad 2-1.
I'm also going to go for Beergrad in this one to win 3-2. The only reservation I've got is that I think if this game had come the week after their league win against Metro Stars, yeah, I think they would have gone into this. I would have picked them undoubtedly, but because it's been 2 weeks, maybe that momentum might have slowed. But so I think Beergrad will win this, but just pip it 3-2.
They did win 4-0 against Blue Eagles in the cup, though, so they still got a bit of form.
Yeah, but I think they were on such a high after that Metro Stars game. It was a game I was at, and they were just such a high. And I think if this game had come immediately after that, then I think they would have just rolled into this nicely.
Yeah, they might have been a bit tired though.
Draw.
Yeah, true.
You two are dads, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alessio?
I went 1-1 draw. Got to keep the streak alive for Burkalla.
That's what I... and finally, Para Hills Knights versus Croydon FC. I'm going to go for Para Hills to win 1-0.
Croydon 2-1.
Yeah, I fancy Croydon in this one as well. I'm going to go for Croydon 3-2.
I've gone 2-1 Para Hills Knights.
Very, very good. All predictions done and dusted. We've actually gone under time for 1 week. How fun's that? Look at that. Anyone want to talk about favourite movies coming out? Just to...
There's two that I'm very eager to see.
Yeah?
Happy Gilmore. Mate, I love Happy Gilmore on the first one. And then the other one is in October. Mortal Kombat 2.
Oh.
Very much looking forward to that one.
Did you used to play the game back in the day?
I've still got it on my Sega Mega Drive, mate. So of course I did.
So why didn't you say that as one of your favourite games? That would have been a good option too.
No, well, because I like my Arkham game. It's great.
Fair enough.
There's
Fair
four
enough.
of us that play that one. It's good.
David, Alessia, you've been watching any more musicals recently? Been learning any more?
It's technically, I'm pretty sure it is a musical, but I did watch Wicked.
That's a musical. Yeah, absolutely. That's a
Of course it's
musical.
a
How is that
musical,
not a
dude.
musical?
But it's not the
Wick-
same kind of one as I watched with the what was the other one called again?
Hamilton.
Hamilton.
Yeah,
Yeah, it wasn't
but
the
that's-
same because that's like a
that's-
stage musical. It's like a movie musical.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
still
but
musicals. though.
Wicked the movie is actually based on Wicked the musical.
Yeah. But I watched the movie one, so
Yeah.
Did you
No, you
enjoy
need
it?
to see the
Yeah,
musical,
pretty good.
mate. That's amazing.
yeah, it's
What-
pretty-
what's-
they have the original, I think, musical actors pop up in the movie. I'm pretty sure.
They do. Yes.
How many musicals do you reckon you've seen now?
I think it's that's second full one. I think that's probably 2, maybe 3.
So you've seen
Can't
two.
remember.
Which one would you say is better?
Well, it's difficult to say. I like the way it goes into the movie, like a movie kind of thing. But I think Hamilton had better songs.
Oh, okay. Okay, good.
Gee, you should have an argument with my daughter on that one.
David, what about you? Any movies you're looking forward to, or any movies you've watched recently?
I did watch the World War One film again, the German one, All Quiet on the Western Front. Have you ever seen the remake of that?
No.
It's not an uplifting musical by any means, but it is a great film. So I watched that again the other week, and I went to see the Crash Test Dummies at the Gov.
Oh,
the other night.
I saw that you posted that. These guys wouldn't even know who they are.
I've heard of them before, but I've never heard the music.
Well, they're really very good. And I got a copy. I bought a vinyl record. I bought my first vinyl record since I bought this record 30 years ago. The only thing is that the band scribbled their names all over it, completely ruined the cover. So I was a bit disappointed with that because they didn't need to do that, really, did they? But I guess they're rock stars. They do what they want. But yeah, Crash Test Dummies playing God Shuffled His Feet, an album from 1993, and it was the 30th anniversary tour. Great. Brought back some great memories. That good album, good concert, good night.
Album is older than half of the panel here. How great's that?
Yeah, well, you'll get there eventually, maybe.
Maybe is that a threat? Anything else from you guys before we finish off? As you know,
I was just going to say who's on games this weekend. Seb, you're on the Raiders game. David, you're on the Adelaide United games. Alessio, what are you on game this weekend?
Campbelltown Comet. Yeah.
I'm on the CoCom this weekend with Connie on the Burks game.
Mm-hmm.
Who else
Burks
we got? Who's on that?
Who are Burks playing? Beergrad.
Beergrad, yeah.
You know the one we just spoke about, David?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago. I'm also doing,
Got too caught up on Crash Test Dummies.
I'm also doing a WNPL game this weekend. It's my first one since round one. So I'm quite excited.
Nice.
Yes.
What game you got there?
I'm off to see Salisbury Inter taking on Flinders United at Service FM. So I'm really excited about that. And I got talking to some of the West Adelaide boys on Friday night, and I was toying with the idea of maybe going along to the State League One game on Sunday. The problem is it makes it 3 days in a row, and obviously but there's a bit of work involved. We don't just turn up and just talk. So there's a bit of research to do, notes to make, get to the ground. So see how the weekend's going, and I might try and see if I can cover a State League One game, and that would be West Adelaide and Salisbury United, which has the potential to be a good game to watch too.
Standalone Sunday game too, so all the viewers to yourself.
Yes, both of them.
Also, I just thought of one final question that's not footballing related. I had this conversation with my mum today, right? She brought out a tin of roses, right? You know the chocolates?
Yep.
What is your favorite box of chocolates? Because I think mine is Celebrations at the top.
I couldn't honestly say that I have a favorite. I like Ferrero Rocher and I like Lindt, but I don't.
Yeah,
They don't come
I
in
like the Lindt
boxes.
one. They have those like those the sorted ones. I think Lindt. It's like a gold kind of rectangular
Yeah,
small
they
box.
do, and they've got all of them in there.
They're not bad.
Mark?
Roses used to be good, but I don't rate any of them anymore.
No. Well, like I said, Celebrations, the only one I don't eat in that is the Snickers. Every other one, I'll even eat I quite like Bounties, rather controversially. I think
favourite
I
Bounties are
like
pretty good.
Bounties.
Favourites, I don't like favourites. There's too many bad ones in favourites.
There are a few bad ones, but actually, you know what? The best box to buy, the big box, is just the big box of Maltesers. They rock.
Pretty good. Yeah, those are pretty good.
That's your best shout. The share box of Maltesers beats them all hands down.
I've got a little bag of M&Ms here as well, so that's
But they don't come in a
pretty hype
box.
my books. No,
They don't come in a share box.
I had a terrible experience tonight in the supermarket on the way home. I was asked to go and collect a few necessities, and I went to a supermarket that I was unfamiliar with, one I hadn't been to before. That's terrible because you don't know where anything is. You can't get on a roll. You can't go up aisle 1, aisle 3, aisle 6, aisle 7, check out, home. No. So I went to aisle 1, then I went to aisle 5, then I went back to aisle 2, and then I went up to aisle 10. And you think shortbread would be not with biscuits, but shortbread's with biscuits apparently.
Yep.
I had to get toothpaste. You think there'd be one tube of toothpaste? No, there's a whole aisle full of toothpaste. There's also different ones if you want to get your breath fresh or your teeth white or your polished or whatever. So why just give us one type of toothpaste? Then I was down at toilet roll, and then I had to go back and get Lurpak because I'd missed it. So that was back up to dairy. You're lucky you had me for 7 o'clock, to be honest. I was really quite angry.
Is it sad? Go on, Seb.
No, you go.
I was just going to say, is it sad that if I go to my local, I actually write my list based on the aisles? I know them all that well at my local.
That's what I do.
I know it that well. And I can help people. If people are lost, I go, hey, what are you looking for? And they'll tell me, and I'll be, oh, that's in aisle 5 or aisle 6, because I know my layout of my woolies that well.
Sometimes I just go up to people and I say, can I help you? Because I know where everything is.
Yeah.
I don't actually wait to be asked. I'll go up to them. But this was Foodland down near the Arkaba, and I must have been in there for
work,
That's where my mum shops, Frueville,
Yeah. Seb, you got a connection to it as well, or
no? So your story reminded me of a story I was going to tell from Metro versus Gawler. So I was behind the benches, mainly the Metro Stars bench. So behind Danny, Nicole, the rest of the coaching staff and everything. It was just me there, and Lesio, as you know the two boxes are brick, and there's nothing really in between. So it was just me in between the two things, and then a man comes up to me with a beer in hand. So I'm going to assume maybe slightly inebriated. Comes up next to me. And just starts asking me very basic questions like, who are the blue team? Oh, okay, yeah, Gawler, okay, yeah. Who's the other team? Metro. Oh, okay. Oh, and they're only 1-0, yeah. I'm like, yep. And the blue team are the one in the worst league, yeah. And I'm like, yeah. Well, not really, but it's like, oh, okay. Coach must be really angry, surely, like yelling this all out right behind Danny and the whole coaching. I'm like, yep, sure. He's like, oh, okay. Wow. Okay. Wow. He must be steaming. Yeah. Wow.
So is he a local guy or?
I honestly couldn't tell you. I don't know. I didn't latch on to what he was trying to do immediately. But I'm going to assume he was trying to rile up Danny. But to be honest, I don't think Danny could even have heard him. So it was all pointless and just made me feel very awkward and slightly uncomfortable until he walked away. So that was my story from the weekend.
I think Danny gets in the zone, doesn't he? He gets into the zone.
Oh, yeah.
And he shuts everything out.
I quite enjoy listening to him on the bench. It was actually quite a fun experience just sort of hear them talk and everything until the man came up to me and started asking very basic questions.
I didn't get video of it, but I forgot to tell you on the game at Seaford, they had flares when they won.
Wow. Like
Yeah,
flare flares?
Not Seaford. They had the smokes. They were like the actual the smoke
safe
sticks.
smokes,
They had a yellow.
or-
Yeah, they had the yellow and a black one. So there was a couple of boys on the hill had a couple of drinks, a couple of bevies. They were quite well. They were already ticking on when I got there, and this was after 120 minutes and penalties. Then they broke out the safe smoke, so they were very happy and into it. So yeah, I should have got video footage of that one. That would have been hilarious.
At least you went down there and it was no non-smelling smoke that you saw.
Yeah.
I remember last time was a very herbal brew that I was smelling last time I was there. So.
David, you had something to finish us off on?
Oh, I was just saying, I think it was a conversation I had with you. We were talking about, when you're commentating and you're there yourself and you're next to the bench. And I was at Beograd and I had Metro Stars bench right underneath me. And I think someone had remarked that, I didn't become overly excited when Beograd were scoring their goals in commentary. But I feel bad about it because you've got the coaching staff of the team that's conceded the goals, 3 or 4 meters
Right
away.
Yep.
And it's very quiet. So, if anyone wonders why, if there's a goal and I don't sound very excited, it's possibly because someone like Danny Greystone's standing right next to me, and he frightens me sometimes. So,
yeah, I remember doing that at the first few Sturt games, and that's like right above their benches as well. And I remember, I think it was Sturt versus Metro, and Temple obviously scored a hat trick, and all the players saying, "Yeah, we could hear you on the pitch screaming about it."
That's great.
What a good little chat then. Happy we had a little bit more time to have a nice fun chat. Mark, 1 hole at a time coming soon, apparently, as well.
Well,
Looking
maybe we could organise a 1 game at a time golf challenge, and we get the clubs involved somehow.
I like
and
the clubs.
Yeah, we get the clubs involved, and they've all got to submit a team, maybe their best foursome, and they can play in a foursome competition and go from there.
Foursome and holes, not a great,
Well, I mean, we could do it like a pro. We could do it like a pro-am. I mean, I've never played before, and I'm not sure if Seb or David has.
No.
But we could have one of those who play regularly with each of us on a team.
So there's many ways. I can start looking into it and see if we can get a golf tournament, because like I said, there are a lot of golfers amongst the ranks.
It's a very footballer sport.
It is, yes. It is. And maybe we can include Adelaide United, because I know a few of their boys, like Sir Jordan Elsey, and the A-League, I know they play as well. So maybe we could get them in as well.
Colvert, yeah.
Yeah.
Depends when we organise it for, I think, judging by the
depending on what happened recently. Depends on the time of the year we do it. So we'll see how we go with that one. But the other thing I just wanted to say before we go is obviously a massive shout out to Playford and Benny Moore and Dan Ryan for joining us this evening.
Absolutely.
So thank you very much.
Enjoyable.
And we look forward to the next guests, whoever that may be.
Whoever that may be. We don't even have them planned yet, I don't think, really, do we?
I've got 2 possibles in the pipeline for next week, but all will be revealed.
All will be revealed. Thank you for joining me, you 3. Fun as always. A pleasure as always.
Thanks for having us.
Look forward to catching up next week with plenty more football, plenty more fun.
Make sure everyone gets out to the games this weekend.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week or around the grounds during the weekend.
See ya.
Alex Mullen to make it 3-1 in the grand final. Puts in the penalty and wins the grand final for Campbelltown City.
No one attacks it. Comes back off the Fernandez. It's a goal. It's tied. Oh! And then Talisman's got another one.
Harry City back quick.
Jake King done. What a effort. My goodness me. Oh, can't teach that sort of stuff. Sends it in. Keeps it low. And it's gone in. It's gone in. LA Uni have scored. In time added. Tries to get under control, and the shot from Tolland! Salisbury into it, 2-0 up!
Still Butler with another chance, it's 2-1 to Playford! Persistence has paid off for Playford!
One touch the keeper, pushes it into the bottom corner. Beach gives him a shoulder after that as well. He's lost his clean sheet and he's lost his head with a red card. David, this is massive.
Skills to make the girls sing and the geezers too. Yeah, we're doing this thing.